You know, there's something about the night that brings out the truth in people. The day can be busy, chaotic, filled with distractions, responsibilities, and stress, but the night is quiet. And it's in that quiet that you see what someone truly thinks about, what someone truly cares about, and who occupies their heart and mind when no one else is looking. That's why when a man thinks of you at night, it shows in the smallest gestures, the little things he does that might seem insignificant to the casual observer, but are actually loaded with meaning. One of the clearest ways you can tell a man is thinking about you at night is in the messages he sends. I'm not talking about long, drawn-out texts every hour, because let's be honest, a man's life is busy, but I'm talking about those subtle, intentional moments when he reaches out before bed. Have you ever noticed it? That moment when your phone buzzes right before you're about to close your eyes, and it's him. Sometimes it's a simple goodnight message. Maybe just 2 words, maybe with a little heart emoji. But that tiny gesture is a window into his mind. That's him telling you that before he drifts off into sleep, before his thoughts get clouded with the day's stress, before his attention gets pulled by anything else, you are there. You are the last thought he carries into the night. And I'm telling you, ladies, there is power in that. That's not casual. That's intentional. That's a man who values you enough to put his thoughts of you above the distractions of life, above the temptation to scroll social media or watch TV or do anything else. He chooses you, even in the quietest, loneliest moments of the day. And it's not just the words themselves, it's the timing. A message in the middle of the day is easy. A message late at night is intentional. That's when a man has no one else to impress, no work to worry about, no one watching. It's raw. It's real. If he's taking time out of the night, out of his rest, just to let you know he's thinking about you. That is a powerful signal. Think about it. He could be doing anything else, but he chooses you. He doesn't have to be poetic or flowery. Sometimes it's as simple as thinking of you, hope you had a good day, or sweet dreams. But those simple words are heavy with meaning because they are words said in the quiet, in the pause between life and sleep, in the moment when a man is truly reflecting on what matters. And here's another thing about those messages at night. Consistency matters. If it's just once, maybe it's coincidence. Maybe he's just being polite. But if it happens more than once, if you notice a pattern where he reaches out at night, even on days when he's busy or tired, that tells you that you are consistently present in his mind. You are someone he can't stop thinking about. You are someone he looks forward to connecting with. Even when he could be doing 100 other things, even when he could just shut off his phone and go to sleep. That kind of consistency is the hallmark of emotional investment. That's a man who is thinking about you, missing you, wanting to stay connected, and sending little reminders that you are important to him. Sometimes the messages themselves can reveal even more. A man who thinks about you at night might send things that show he's remembering details from the day, little things you mentioned in passing, things that others might forget. Maybe you told him you had a rough day at work, and later that night, he checks in, hey, just wanted to make sure you're feeling okay. Maybe he recalls a small joke you made earlier and sends it back to make you laugh before bed. That's a man actively thinking about you, carrying you in his mind through the quiet hours and making you part of his night intentionally. That's not surface level care, that's deep mindful attention. And let's not forget the emotional impact of those messages. Ladies, when you get a message from him at night, there's a feeling that comes with it. It's warmth, comfort, and reassurance. It's that little spark in your chest that tells you someone is thinking of you, someone cares. Someone wants to be part of your life even when you're not physically together. It creates a connection that's intimate and personal. And that connection doesn't just vanish when the phone goes quiet. It lingers. It builds. And it sets the stage for deeper feeling. A man who thinks of you at night is investing in that emotional connection. He's showing you that you matter enough to occupy his thoughts in the moments when the world is quiet, the moments when he's free to think about what really matters. Now, I know some women might say, well, anyone can send a text, Steve. How do I know it really means he's thinking about me? And I get it. I understand the skepticism. But let me tell you, it's not just the text. It's the intent behind it. It's the timing, the consistency, the personalization, the way he follows up, the way he makes you feel noticed and important. You can tell when a message comes from the heart versus when it's just filler. You can feel it in the words, in the tone, and in the way it makes you feel. And that feeling, that's your proof that he's carrying you in his mind, letting you in his heart before he even lays his head down to rest. Ladies, pay attention to these nighttime messages. Don't dismiss them as casual or small. They are tiny but powerful markers of love and thoughtfulness. They are signs that he values you, misses you, and wants to stay connected, even in the stillness of the night. And the beautiful thing about that, it's not loud, it's not showy, it's quiet, intimate, and real. That's where the truth of a man's feelings often hides, in those little moments. When he reaches out, when he pauses, when he thinks of you before sleep. That's where the heart speaks the loudest. And that's why, when you notice those messages, cherish them. Notice the times, notice the words, notice the intention. Because a man who thinks about you at night, who takes the time to send those messages, is a man who is emotionally present, invested, and valuing you in ways that go deeper than the surface. That's the kind of love that builds, that grows, that carries weight. And if you're paying attention, you'll see it. You'll feel it. You'll know it. You know, folks, there's something about a man who truly thinks about you that goes beyond just a day-to-day conversation. It's one thing to talk. It's one thing to laugh together, but it's a whole other level when a man starts imagining a future with you in it. See, men don't just dream about random things without meaning. When a man includes you in his dreams and plans, especially at night when life slows down and his mind is free to wander, that tells you something powerful. That tells you that you're on his mind in ways that matter, in ways that touch his heart and shape his vision of what life could be. When a man imagines a shared future, it shows in the details. He's not just saying, someday we'll do this, or we should go there one day. No, he starts painting pictures in his mind where you are a part of the story. He imagines waking up next to you, celebrating milestones with you, traveling to places you've always wanted to go, or just sitting on the couch together on a quiet Sunday morning. And he shares glimpses of this with you in conversation. He talks about things you could do together, places he wants to go, and he makes sure to mention you in those scenarios. That's not coincidence. That's a man who carries your presence in his mind, who values you enough to make you part of the life he's dreaming about. It's amazing what the mind does at night when everything else fades away. The distractions disappear, the responsibilities settle down, and a man is left with his thoughts. And if you're in those thoughts, you occupy a space in his heart. He imagines how life could be better with you in it. He imagines you supporting each other, laughing together, even dealing with challenges together. That mental rehearsal, that dreaming, is a powerful sign. It shows that he's invested emotionally and mentally, and he's already practicing the life he wants to live with you in it. That's love. That's intention. That's not just casual thinking. That's a man building a life that includes you even when you're not physically there. And the fascinating thing about this is how it shows up in his actions. You see, when a man imagines a future with you, he starts to act in ways that reflect that vision. He makes decisions that consider your needs and wants. He might start saving money for trips or things you've mentioned wanting. He might be more thoughtful, more attentive, more patient, because he's seeing you as part of the bigger picture. He's not just living day by day. He's living with a plan that has you in it. That's how you know he's thinking of you at night. He's not only dreaming, he's preparing, even unconsciously, for the life he wants with you. It's also in the way he talks about commitments and responsibilities. A man who imagines a future with you will often talk about long-term goals in a way that includes you. He might say, I want to be settled by this age, or I want to start a business or travel, and I'd love for you to be there. He's giving you a seat at the table of his life, mentally placing you beside him. And that's no small gesture. Most people don't give that kind of thought to anyone. If a man is imagining you in his future, it means he's thinking seriously, emotionally, and mentally about you. He's envisioning you together when everyone else is asleep, when the world is quiet, when he's alone with his thoughts. And that's real. That's honest. That's love expressed in its purest form. Now, here's something else to consider. A man who imagines a shared future is often emotionally present even when he's distant physically. Maybe you haven't spent every day together. Maybe you live far apart. Maybe life gets busy. But his mind brings you there at night. He closes his eyes and sees you beside him. He pictures your reactions, your laughter, your smile. He imagines conversations, shared experiences, and even challenges. And those thoughts influence his words and actions the next day. You might notice him checking in more, being more thoughtful, or making gestures that show he's thinking about you. That's a man rehearsing a life with you, preparing mentally for the moments you'll actually share in reality. And here's the beauty of that. This imagining is not superficial. It's not fantasy for entertainment. It's not about idle daydreams. It's about emotional investment. A man who imagines you in his future at night is building a foundation in his heart and mind for a real connection. He's asking, even without saying it aloud, how can I make this life happen with her in it? That's powerful because it goes beyond attraction, beyond convenience. It's about intention, commitment, and the desire to make you a part of something bigger than just the moment. Ladies, pay attention to the signs. When a man talks about plans, when he mentions goals, when he speaks about what he wants in life and includes you in the picture, that's not random. That's him thinking of you at night, imagining a life with you, practicing what it would be like to wake up next to you, laugh with you, support you, and build together. He's not just thinking, he's emotionally preparing, he's investing, he's caring. And if you notice it, if you feel it, if it resonates with the way he acts and communicates, that's a sign that he's serious, that he values you, and that he's carrying you in his heart, even when the world sleeps. The next time he shares plans or dreams with you, pay attention to the way he frames them. Listen to how often you're included, the excitement in his voice. When he talks about experiences he wants to have with you, the details he remembers, and how he imagines the two of you together. Those are not coincidences. That's intention. That's care. That's a man thinking about you at night, carrying you in his mind, and letting you occupy a space in the life he wants to live. That's the kind of man worth noticing, worth holding on to, and worth appreciating, because he's not just present physically. He's present mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in ways that matter. When you understand this, you start seeing the depth of love in ways that words alone can't describe. You realize that thinking about someone at night, imagining a future with them, is one of the purest expressions of care a man can show. It's quiet, it's intentional, it's reflective, and it's profound. That's the power of a man who imagines a shared future. That's a man who's not just thinking about you casually, but seriously, intentionally, and with love. That's real. You know, one of the most powerful signs a man thinks about you at night isn't always in what he says, it's in what he remembers. It's in the little things, the details about you that most people might forget. But he doesn't. That's emotional memory, and it's one of the strongest indicators that someone is truly carrying you in their heart when no one else is around. Ladies, pay attention to this, because when a man remembers the little things about you, it's not just coincidence, it's proof that you're present in his mind, even when the world is quiet and he's alone with his thoughts. Think about it, life is busy. Men have jobs, responsibilities, family, obligations, and all sorts of distractions. So when he takes mental notes about the things that matter to you, it means something. Maybe you told him about your favorite song or how you like your coffee in the morning, and somehow he remembers. Maybe he noticed the little way you crinkle your nose when you laugh, or the way your eyes light up when you're excited. And even when days go by, he brings those things back up in conversation, or he surprises you with something that shows he was thinking of you. That's emotional memory in action. That's a man mentally carrying you into the night, storing little pieces of you in his heart. And it goes deeper than that. Emotional presence is about being tuned into how you feel, noticing changes in your mood, and responding in ways that show he cares. If you're having a rough day, he senses it. Even if you don't say much, he remembers the things that make you happy, the things that stress you out, the moments that made you smile, and he holds on to them. Then in those quiet hours of the night, he thinks about you and reflects on those moments. That reflection informs his next actions, the way he communicates with you, and the way he makes you feel seen and valued. It's subtle, but it's powerful. It's the difference between a man who simply likes you and a man who truly cherishes you. You ever notice how some men seem to have a sixth sense about what you need? Almost like they're thinking about you before you even realize it yourself. That's the power of emotional memory. He's replaying moments in his mind, noticing what mattered to you, and using that knowledge to show love and attention in meaningful ways. Maybe he sends you a message late at night referencing something you said weeks ago, or he plans a small surprise that makes you feel appreciated. Those gestures are rooted in the emotional work he's doing quietly, thinking about you, carrying your presence in his mind. That's not casual thinking, that's devotion. And here's the thing, emotional presence is also about being present even when physically absent. Maybe he's at work, maybe he's traveling, maybe life has pulled him away, but you're still there in his thoughts. He's remembering details about you, he's thinking about your needs, and he's reflecting on the moments you've shared. That's why some of the most meaningful gestures come out of nowhere. He's been thinking about you. He's been carrying you in his mind, and he finally acts on it. Emotional presence is a quiet kind of love, but it's consistent, intentional, and incredibly powerful. Ladies, don't underestimate the value of a man who remembers the little things. It's easy to be with someone who remembers the big, obvious moments, the anniversaries, birthdays, or major milestones. But a man who remembers how you take your coffee, the song that makes you smile, or the way you like to wind down at night, that's someone who's thinking about you when no one else is around. That's someone who's mentally carrying you into the night. That's someone who values your emotional world and wants to be a part of it. That's the kind of love that builds trust, intimacy, and connection because it's rooted in attention, care, and understanding. And emotional memory doesn't just show up in actions, it shows up in conversations. You'll notice him bringing up things you thought were forgotten. Maybe you mentioned a dream you had or a hope for the future, and weeks later he references it, asks how it's going, or finds a way to help you achieve it. That's emotional memory working quietly in the background, guiding his actions, shaping his words, and reinforcing that he's thinking about you, carrying you with him when no one else is looking. Another sign of emotional presence is how he reacts to your moods and feelings. If he notices when you're off, even without you saying anything, that shows awareness. If he adjusts his behavior to make you feel better, that's him thinking about you and your emotional world. That attentiveness is not random, it's proof that he's invested, emotionally engaged, and carrying you in his mind during the quiet moments. That's where the depth of love shows up in the care and the attention and in the mental presence that most people overlook. And the beauty of this kind of emotional presence is that it's sustainable. When a man is mentally and emotionally present, he's building a relationship not just in the moment, but over time. He's storing memories, reflecting on experiences, and thinking about how to make you happy in ways that last. That's why the signs of emotional memory are so important. They show you that his feelings are real, thoughtful, and long-lasting. He's not just infatuated, he's invested, attentive, and carrying you in a meaningful way. When you understand emotional memory and presence, you start to see a man differently. You notice the quiet gestures, the small attentions, the ways he surprises you, and you realize that these aren't random acts. They're reflections of a mind and heart that think about you at night, that carry your presence even when life gets busy, and that value you deeply. That's the kind of man who will show up consistently, who will cherish you, and who will be emotionally present not just for a season, but for a lifetime. Ladies, pay attention to these signs. Notice how he remembers things, how he reacts to your feelings, and how he carries your presence in his mind. That's the real clue that he's thinking of you at night. That's the proof that you're important to him, that he values you, and that he's emotionally invested in you in ways that are deep, thoughtful, and enduring. That's emotional memory. That's emotional presence. And that, my friends, is the kind of love worth noticing. You know, one of the clearest ways to tell a man thinks of you at night isn't just what he says or even the little memories he carries. It's what he does after those nights of thought. You see, thinking about someone is one thing, but when a man takes those thoughts and turns them into action, that's when you know he's serious. That's when you see the proof that he's carrying you in his heart and mind while the world sleeps. It's like this. The night gives a man space to reflect, to dream, to feel. And when the sun comes up, those feelings come alive through the way he acts. And the actions speak louder than words ever could. Think about it for a second. A man might lie awake at night thinking about you, wondering how you're doing, missing your presence, and imagining moments with you. And when he wakes up, you'll notice it in subtle ways. Maybe he texts you first thing in the morning, not out of obligation, but because he genuinely wants to check on you. Maybe he surprises you with something thoughtful that he remembered from a conversation you had weeks ago, like your favorite coffee or a little gift that shows he was thinking about you even in the quiet hours. These actions are not random. They are the natural extension of the nights he spent carrying you in his mind. That's love turning into movement, feeling turning into reality. And it's not just the big gestures, it's the consistency in the small ones. Ladies, you'll notice when a man is genuinely thinking about you at night, because he shows up differently the next day. Maybe he's more attentive, more patient, more eager to make your day better. Maybe he listens more carefully, remembers details you mentioned, or goes out of his way to do something that will make you smile. That's the proof that your presence was on his mind when no one else was there to witness it. The nights of thought become days of action, and those actions are rooted in genuine care, thoughtfulness, and emotional investment. Another thing to notice is how he prioritizes you. A man who thinks about you at night will naturally begin to make decisions during the day that consider you. He'll think about how his choices affect you, how his schedule can include time for you, and how he can make life easier, happier, and more connected for both of you. These aren't obligations. These are conscious choices born out of reflection. He's taking the quiet moments of thought and turning them into tangible demonstrations of love and attention. That's how you know the nights weren't wasted. That's how you know you mattered enough to occupy his mind and heart while the world was asleep. And let's talk about the energy he brings. You'll notice a spark, a shift in how he interacts with you, how he engages with you, how he prioritizes your presence. It's like he's rehearsed in his mind the ways he wants to treat you, the words he wants to say, the gestures he wants to make. And then he brings them into